Hello and welcome to Sew with Christine. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to make this shift dress. So if this is what you're interested in, do watch this video to the end and do not forget to subscribe, like and share this tutorial. If you do not want to miss out on amazing tutorials that I post, then turn your notification bell on. So this is the fabric that I would be using. I have 2 yards of this fabric and this is the front part. First of all, I'm going to mark out 1 inch from the top to the bottom of this dress. This 1 inch is going to serve as the seam allowance for the slit opening at the front area. For this dress, there won't be any slit opening at the back. We'll be having that at the front. So that is why I'm marking down this 1 inch. So this 1 inch line is going to be the border line that I will be marking every of my measurement from. I'm going to draw a straight line here as my starting line at the top of this fabric. I'm going to mark down half of the shoulder measurement, which is 7 inches. After marking down the shoulder measurement, I'm going to take the sleeve length from the shoulder measurement. I'm marking down 10 inches for the sleeve length. From the 10 inches that I've just marked, I'll come down by 1 inch, and this is for the shoulder slope. Back to the center front, I'm going to mark down the neck width, and I'm using 3 inches for the neck width. Let me do a quick recap. This is the shoulder width, which is 3 inches, then this is the shoulder 7 inches, and the last marking here is the sleeve length. So altogether I made use of 17 inches. I'll be using 6.5 inches for the neck depth. So I'm going to mark that here and connect with my straight ruler, that's from the neck width to meet with the neck depth, to give me a V neckline. After drawing out the V neckline, I'm going to connect its neck width to meet with the shoulder slope. Next, I'm going to mark out the bust point. I'm using 10 inches for the bust point measurement. So after marking this out, I will just draw a straight line over the marked area. After marking out the bust point, I'll go ahead and mark out the waistline, the hip line, the hem line, and I'll add 1.5 inch for the hem allowance. Then I'll just go ahead and rule out all the lines. For the width of the sleeve, I will come to this area where I marked the shoulder slope, and I'm going to mark 8 inches for the sleeve width. On the waistline area, I'm going to mark down a quarter waist measurement, and I'm going to add my seam allowance and 1 inch for ease. I'll do the same thing on the bust point area. I'll take the quarter of the bust measurement and I'll do the same for the hip area and the hem area. The measurement I took for the hip area is what I'm going to use for the hem area. So your exact quarter hip measurement is what you should mark at the hem area. I marked 1 inch for the seam allowance and 1 inch for ease, but I later reduced the seam allowance to 0.5 inch. So altogether I have 1.5 inches added to all my horizontal measurements. Coming to the width of the sleeve, I'm going to draw a curved line from this point to touch all the seam allowances at the bust point, the waistline, to the hip, then to the hem. Once I'm done with drawing out the shape of this dress, I'll fold this 1 inch inward. The reason I'm folding this inward is so that when I cut out this neckline, I'm going to get the desired shape. If this pointed edge is not there, by the time you hem this 1 inch, you're gonna have shortage of your fabric. So that is why you need to fold this inward before you cut out the neckline. After this, I'll just go ahead and cut out the excess from this dress. Next is to cut the back piece. I'm going to lay the front one over the back like so, and I'll be leaving 1 inch for the back, which I will use for the zipper allowance. So at the top part of this fabric, I'm just going to mark out that 1 inch. After marking, I will rule it downward. The width of the back neckline remains 3 inches, while the neck depth is 1.5 inches. So I will come down by 1.5 inches and then connect to meet with the width. I'm going to fold this 1 inch inward like I did for the front. Then I will cut this out. So once I'm done cutting, I'm going to open up the center front and open up the center back. Next is to quickly draft the pockets. So these are pieces from the cutouts of this dress, and I have 4 of them here. The length of these pockets is 12 inches. I want this to be 12 inches. You can always alter this measurement if you want. After marking down 12 inches, I'm going to mark 7 inches. This is for the pocket opening. This is where your hand will pass through. From here, I'll mark 0.5 inch for the seam allowance, and I'll also mark 0.5 inch here and draw a straight line downward. From this line, I'm going to mark the width of this pocket. I want this to be 6 inches. So I'm just going to place my hand over this pocket like so and draw a freehand pocket. There's no particular method to doing this. You can just, be creative about this. So once I'm done drafting out this pocket, I will go ahead and cut off the excess. Now that our pocket is ready, let's go ahead and stitch all the pieces together. First of all, I'm going to sew this 1 inch close, but what I will do is to first mark out my slit opening. So this is the hem allowance, which is 1.5 inches. From this 1.5 inches, I'll go up by 6 inches for the slit opening. So I won't be sewing this part, but from this point, I will sew upward. I'm done sewing this, so the next thing I'm going to do is to fold this inward like so that I will run a top stitch on it from top to bottom on this side as well as the other side. So I'm done top stitching, and this is what it looks like. This is the slit opening, and this is the right side of this dress. Next, I'll go ahead and cut off the excess at the neckline. These are the bias that I'll be using for this dress. This is the regular bias and this is the velvet bias, but this one is the shiny type, so you can get the normal velvet bias or you can get this one. I'm going to turn this dress to the right side and use this normal bias to pipe the neckline of the front part and also the back part like so. So this is what you already know how to do. Just use the bias tape to pipe the neckline. I'm gonna head to pipe the necklines, and this is what we have here. This is for the front, and I will bring in the back ones so you can see. You can see how neat they look. Now that we are done piping the neckline, the next thing is to place the velvet bias over this dress. I'll place it from the neckline down to the hem of this dress, and I'll do the same for this other part. I'm going to run a top stitch on both sides of this velvet bias. After running the top stitch on the first velvet bias, I will do the top stitch on the second velvet bias. Please note that while you are running the top stitch, you will need to fold this side inward a little because of the bulge there. This is not entirely straight from the neckline to the hem, so that is why you have that little bulge there. I'm done sewing the velvet onto the dress. See what it looks like, very neat. This is the slit opening at the front, and here is what the wrong part looks like. Next, I'm going to bring in the back piece and sew the shoulder of one back piece to that of the front, and the shoulder of the other back piece to the front as well. Then I'm going to sew my zipper onto the back. So this is where I want my zipper to end, and from this part where I marked, I will sew downward. Remember I said there is no slit opening at the back, so I will only have the zip and these other parts will be closed up. Here is it. I've closed up the shoulders and I've added my zipper to it. Next is to fix in my pockets. From the shoulder, I'm going to come down by 18 inches. I'm going to mark 18 inches on all four sides, the front part and the back part. Once I'm done marking down the 18 inches, this is where my pockets would start. I'm going to take just one of the pockets. Remember I have 4 here. I'll take one and I'll place that one on the area that I marked and pin it down. So this part we are pinning is the 7 inches that will be for the pocket opening. So when placing your pockets, you want to make sure it is placed right side to right side before pinning. So this area that I pinned, which is the 7 inches, I'm going to sew this place close. I will sew that 7 inches close on all the 4 areas of this dress. That is 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. I'm done sewing the 7 inches of this pocket, and this is what we have here. Next, I'm going to sew the side of this dress following this direction so that we can close up the pockets. I'm going to fold the hem as well once I'm done sewing the side. This is the pocket and the hem after sewing. So I'm just going to tuck this in so you can see what this dress looks like. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.